to another video of Nick and
Lex!
How's it
And
going,
Marty.
guys? And Marty. So we just saw this movie. It's First Man with Ryan Gosling, and oh my god, we had to review it. Forget everything you've seen, like for example Apollo 13. This is not Apollo 13. This is a very terrifying movie. I was literally terrified the entire time.
It's very suspenseful. It really makes you like see space flight from a totally different perspective. I had always seen it as something amazing and cool, which I still do, but I always saw it as something like, oh my god, I would love to do that. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like,
no,
I don't think I could do that.
Yes, it's just like we saw it here. We bought the Blu-ray. We put it on surround sound on a 55-inch. And oh my god, both of us got sick.
Literally nauseous. We had to stop the movie.
We had to stop the movie. I mean, I'm not saying the movie is bad for your health, but it's just it's so well made that we had to stop the movie because it was like, I'm not feeling well. Like my stomach, it was something.
Yeah.
And we read some reviews online that it happened to a lot of people, but that is something wonderful because if a movie can do that to you,
that's a good thing for us. It's like when you hate a character in a movie, like you actually hate them, then you know they're like a good actor.
Right.
But at the time you're like, oh, I can't stand this guy. It's like that same feeling. Like we're not criticizing the movie. We're saying it's good. It's so good that it made us feel nauseous.
Yeah. So we had to stop it and then like cool off a bit. We were both like kind of like motion sick, I guess, because the way the camera work is done with the sound, it's just like, I guess it messes. I don't know how, but Damien
Chazelle.
Damien Chazelle really outdid himself this time. I mean, it is about the moon landing, but it's more about Neil Armstrong. It's really about him.
It is. It really is, because you don't... it's about Neil.
Yeah, because entirely. I mean, even when they land, it's just like a little part of the movie when they actually get to the moon. And then when they take off to go back to Earth, it's literally like there is not even. It's just like cut to them when they're back on Earth. So it's not like Apollo 13 where you see them get like, it's not like, it's more about the man and his inner feelings and what he was going through. And this is a spoiler. I mean, not a lot of people know this, but Neil Armstrong lost his daughter, and he was going through a lot of stuff and a lot of hardship while he was training. And I guess it was more like an obsession.
Yes.
And so that's why he did it. And it's just a fantastic movie. I mean, we love Damien Chazelle from La La Land, from
and like the other one? Whiplash. What I really liked about the movie was that I never knew much about Neil Armstrong, to be honest. And I like that I feel like I really got to know him. Like, I feel like I read a biography on him. Like that's why I'm saying it's really more about him than it is about anything else.
I mean, you do get to see NASA, and you do get to see like the moon and all that stuff.
And the command center and the typical Houston whatever, but more so it's about Neil and about his relationship with his daughter that passed away, and how that really had a lot to do with him and his space travel, because in a way it made you feel like he was doing it for her. And there's even a scene, spoiler, in the movie where he's carrying around like a little bracelet of hers, and he finally gets to the moon and he drops the bracelet in a crater. And that was more like, okay, now I can let go. Exactly. And I can officially like move on a little bit more than what I already had tried.
Right, and Ryan Gosling is such a great actor because he, in many movies, like for example Drive, or like he can be very quiet but say a lot.
Yes.
With his face. It's more about his expressions, and he can play very depressive parts. So he really nailed this part. And
like that quiet, mysterious person that doesn't say much, but you know a lot is going on.
Yeah.
He was perfect for the role.
And also one thing I really loved about this movie was the music. Even though it sounded a little bit familiar, it was the same. It was the same composer, and the theme was almost the same notes, but it was a slightly different variation. But it worked very well.
It really did.
So, and it's just like I just have to recommend this movie. It's terrifying. It's literally terrifying to be in the 60s in one of those rockets. Must have been. I don't know how any person, how a human being could go through something like that and not faint or die of a heart attack or something. It's just horribly terrifying.
It really
so I really respect if it really happened, where a lot of people think it's all fake, but if this really happened, then I have nothing more than all my respect to these people.
Yeah, it really is. And so many things about the movie were extraordinary, and also like it made you see how he put his journey to the moon on top of everything else in his life. He was barely a father. I mean, obviously he was a provider for his children and his wife, and never any violence or anything like that toward them, but it was more like getting to the moon was his child, and he nurtured it, and he spent all of his time with it, and the people that he was going to the moon with got more of him than his wife and children did. Right. So
there's this really amazing scene that was very powerful when the wife is like, okay, you're gonna tell your kids that you're going and you might not come back.
Yes.
And that was one of my favorite scenes.
That's the scene I had in mind when I started talking about him barely being a father.
And he can literally, the only thing he told him is like, well, yes, I'm going to the moon and I might not be back. But he can't really express anything.
You can tell he doesn't talk to them often or say much to them often. Like it's so awkward. Like when they're all four at the table, you can feel like this tension doesn't happen. Like they're very rarely ever at the table, all four of them, and if it's happened, it's probably been a handful of times, and you can feel that. You can feel how they're like he doesn't even know how to talk to them. He doesn't know how anything. He talks to them like they were adults, like he has no... I mean, there's a couple scenes where he's playing with them and tickling them and stuff, which is great. But as far as like when it comes to discipline and all of that stuff, you can tell he's not in charge at all, because she tells him like, it's going to be you that has this conversation. It's not going to be me. I'm done. Like she's always the one having to take care and saying, where's Daddy? Oh, he's here. So she said, you know what, this time it's going to be you. And it wasn't, he actually didn't even say it, that one of his older kids asked him, is there a possibility that you're not coming back? And he just answered, yes. And then one kid, the smaller kid, hugs him, and then the bigger kid, like, literally just, like, shakes his hand. Yeah. So that was it was very powerful. So, guys, highly recommended. Please watch it on a big screen, turn up the volume, and this is going to take you to the moon, and yes. It's going to be one hell of a ride, okay? Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Well, thank you guys for watching our review on First Man. Get it on Blu-ray or rent it. You're going to like it. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe and let us know what you think.
Bye, everyone.
And there you go. Bye-bye.